Yeah, yo, pull up a chair, let the real talk begin. Faith on the table where the brothers lock in. Life gets heavy, but we stand our ground. Truth in the room when the circle comes round. No mask, no front, just real man here. Talking about faith through the doubt and the fear. From the grind of the week to the lessons we share. Welcome to the men's round table, pull up a chair. Men's round table series, step inside. Real men, real faith where the truths collide. Voices at the table where the stories get shared. Welcome to the men's round table. Pull up a chair.
Welcome back to the Men's Roundtable Series Interview Spotlight. I'm your host, Mr. U. Wherever you are and how you're watching this, thanks for making us part of your week. If you're new to our program, thanks for being here. We have a Men's Roundtable Series podcast we do every Thursday night at 7 p.m. EST. This is the sister show to that, where we go one-on-one with the husbands, fathers, brothers, and sons from around the country, and even now around the world, talking about issues that are germane to men. In studio with us today, men's embodiment coach, group facilitator, and a former buddy of mine. Well, he's still a buddy of mine. Jason Lange here. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great.
I always say panelist because I haven't had you on a panel in a while, so that's why.
Yeah.
You're still a good friend, man. But so all things well with you, brother? How's everything happening?
Yeah, things are unfolding well. Life is very rich, very full. My son's a little over 18 months now, so it's been busy.
Congrats, man. No wonder you haven't got back to me. You've been busy, man. No, I love it, man. I love it. Well, you do a lot, man, in regards to men's coaching and men's groups. So I love having a sit down with you. So that's what we're going to do today. We got essentially an all-male audience. Some women chime in once in a while with questions, but, essentially, we're speaking to the men today. So why do you think, Jason, we've talked about it before, but why do you think it's needed, especially now in 2026, to have a men's group? Why is that important for men? I know a lot of men are like, I don't need to have that. Prove it wrong today. Yeah. Why do you need that today?
Yeah. Well, us men, we're raised in this culture of being taught, we should be tough enough to do everything alone. Right? Just pick yourself up by the bootstraps, push, persevere. And, there's obvious real merit and truth and growth, and it's important to be self-sufficient, but none of us can be fully self-sufficient. That's the honest truth. And, how I often phrase this is there's a ticking time bomb for every man. And what you get to decide is, when do you want to prepare for it? And what I mean by that is, even the toughest man you and I each know, right? The guy who's just cut, he's built, he's resilient, he's so strong. There will be a time in every man's life where his body will fail him and he can't push through. That could be illness, accident, or the one that's coming for us all, old age. And at that moment, what we're confronted with is, who do I have around me to support me? And a huge edge for myself and almost all men I know, how much can I receive it? How much can I actually let the help in when I need it? And for a lot of guys, what I've experienced is they end up experiencing a double crisis because the accident, the illness, whatever happens, and they don't have that foundation. So they're really caught in a hard place. So one of the reasons to get into a men's group is build that foundation now, because you never know what's around the corner. You never know. You might get hurt or sick and can't work for 6 months or can't do the thing around the house. And you got to call guys in. And just at a very functional level, having a men's group is building that around you, right? How I heard this phrased that I really like is, we think a lot about economic resource and providership and whatnot as men. You want to have a savings account. You want to have an emergency fund. Social capital is part of that. Social capital means, what relationships have I invested in? So when I'm in a place in my life where I need to receive, there's people who are ready to give back to me. And a men's group is one of the best places I have found specifically for men to build that social capital of, together, we're going to grow and thrive. And if nothing else, I see myself and other men, we get more of what we want faster when we're growing in community, right? It's like you step into the gym and, okay, I'm working out my own. Yeah, it's good. I'm working out. I step in the gym with you. I'm like, whoa, now I'm really working out, right? Like I want to keep up with him. I want to like, that's what we need as men. And a men's group does that, but for our entire life.
I love the gym analogy. I'm seeing this a lot. Perhaps you are too. You and I believe, are on Facebook together, among some other places. I'm seeing the rise of men's group like never before. And I guess part of that can be considered encouraging. When I look a little further and look a little deeper, because, I always think deep, I ask deep questions. I want to go a little deeper and understand. It feels like it's just a bunch of guys together, as opposed to what you just got finished describing. So without being self-aggrandizing and promoting your group only, I'd love you to tell the listeners and viewers today, what do you think is the right quality, the good qualities or the essential qualities for a men's group that will help men thrive? What needs to be in the conversation, in the dynamic? What needs to be there for a men's group to be valid, if you will?
Sure. Yeah, totally. A couple things. One is just first a structural thing in that, right? Guys do get together all the time. We hang out with our buddies. We, do activities, we watch a game, but that's different than what I'm talking about here. The default mode for most of us men and how we relate in groups or individually is what I call triangulation, right? Me and you have our attention on some third thing. We're watching a screen, a sport, we're doing an activity, we're fishing, we're fixing something. So our connection comes from looking at this other thing, right? But our connection isn't necessarily coming from having our attention on each other. So part of a men's group, what it does is it puts our attention on each other. And then to go deeper than that, we go under the surface, right? We go under the hood, so to speak, of the image we're all encouraged to cultivate as tough, resilient men who have it all together. And we put out the awesome vacations and the cool shots on Instagram, and right, everybody's like, hey, they got it all figured out. When inside, almost nobody has it figured out. We're all struggling with something, right? It's not a knock. It's just like we're all have a growth edge. We're working it. Some things are working well, some things aren't. So a men's group is an attempt to go underneath that to get real, because part of what's so painful for men is because we don't know how to connect with each other and get real. I hear this all the time for guys I work with. Maybe I did just spend the weekend with my buddies, but then I got home and I still felt crushingly lonely because it turns out my wife's about to leave me and we just don't talk about that kind of stuff. My group doesn't go there. And so we can spend time with people, in a sense, but that's really different from getting connected with those same men and becoming closer and revealing. So a men's group helps us go under the surface. And, the other three things I'll just share are big, important parts of men's groups that more and more people talk about are support, like I talked about. It means having us men have a place to go where we can receive report. So many guys I know, right? Fathers, husbands, bosses, carrying all this burden on their shoulders. Like, I got to hold it together, help everyone else, provide for everyone else. And then they have nowhere to go. And so they get empty. They get exhausted. They get stressed. Men's group's the place where, hey, where do I get to go to take the load off for a moment and be held and supported and seen? And then it's also the place we go for accountability. This is really important for men. What's the life you want to be living? What's in the way of getting there? Men will hold you accountable and give you feedback about how they're experiencing you showing up in your life, in your body, even towards your goals. And it helps us stay on track. That's all.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I'll say is just more and more, I think this is the most important thing that's kind of related to both of those. A good men's group is going to be a space where men slow each other down to actually get connected to their felt body experience. What are you actually feeling physically and emotionally in your body, right? We'll know, right? A lot of guys like, yeah, I'm really stressed out. Yeah, it's a really hard time right now. It's really stressed out. Saying that is really different from slowing down and actually feeling the impact and what it's like in your body. whether it's stress or grief or fear or shame or anger. And us men having a place to do that, I have seen transforms guys faster than anything else. Because once that is felt, something gets freed up in terms of how we engage with our lives.
I love that. One of the things that I love that you did, we got connected through the podcast medium, and you were one of our first panelists on our Men's Roundtable Series podcast. Of course, every Thursday night at 7 p.m. EST, you can find our show everywhere. You were a part of that, and I remember the comments I would see when I did it. I submitted a clip of you on the stage, and the comments that I got, I'm like, and they were good. Now it was just like, I'm like, wow, this guy brought so much to the table, so many great insights in the comments and stuff. And we always talk about masculinity on the show, but now I feel like I have to reframe the question and say, have to add a caveat and say healthy masculinity. For you, what's that look like?
Yeah, I kind of define it as 3 things we can do as men. And first, it's very simply the ability to land in our bodies and get grounded in our nervous systems. Here I am, connected to the earth, connected to my feet, and I'm actually present in my body in this moment. And then from there, it's this capacity to also bring our heart online and open it to feel what it's like to be in my body, to feel and get a sense of, yeah, what's going on with Mr. You today? What do I sense in him? What do I sense in my wife? So we get open, right? We actually become able to receive and respond. And it's the thing
Intuitive,
a lot of guys,
right?
Yeah, it's intuitive. It's sensitive, right? And a lot of guys are like, I don't want to be more sensitive.
Yeah.
The thing about sensitivity that we need to redefine as men is sensitivity is a strength, right? The men we often pedestal the most, Navy SEALs, martial artists, they are extraordinarily sensitive. They are deeply attuned to each other, to the environment, to themselves. That's part of what makes them so effective. So having that capacity to be open and sensitive in our bodies is the second part. And then the third part, which I think is more and more a challenge for men, is control over our awareness, focus, the ability to put our attention on what we want to put it on demand for as long as we want. For so many men I work with, one of the biggest struggles is rumination. I get stuck up in my head. I'm overthinking things. Here I am. My wife's right there. My kid's right there, but I'm not actually with them because instead my focus is up here. And so when a man can keep his attention on what he chooses in the moment and discern what's the most important thing for me to have my attention on right now, and he's open and sensitive and he's grounded in his body, that man, the feeling of being in the presence of a man like that is deeply relaxing to the nervous system of everyone around him. It actually downshifts everybody. It relaxes people. It makes safety feel more available. And to me, that's what the healthy masculine does. When the healthy masculine enters a space, people should feel safer. I actually feel safer. I feel more relaxed. I feel like there's awareness with heart and power here in the room with me, which means, hey, I feel safe, right? And so that's that trifecta of those 3 things. Some men are really good at one area and not the other area. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like training. We got to go into the gym and work the part that's not so strong for us. And that's a lot of the work I do, and a lot of what a good men's group then does is it gives us a place to build those skills and capacities to get more grounded in our body, to get more open and sensitive emotionally, and to learn to work with our attention and focus so we have control over it. Because right now, more than ever, man, everybody wants a piece of our attention, right? There's another feed, there's another notification, there's another thing. It's always grabbing at us.
Yeah.
And the man who doesn't have control of that is not a free man.
Yeah. I'm going to try to take 10 pounds of questions and put them into a 5-pound bag. We're going to try to get at least 2 or 3 more questions in. If I can make it happen, we're going to do our best. We're tight on time. Talk to me about No More Mr. Nice Guy. I love when you get into this. Try to be as brief as you can, but I want to ask you some more things after that. But No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Totally.
Talk to me
No
about
More Mr. Nice Guy is a famous book by one of my mentors and friends, Dr. Robert Glover. He wrote a number of years ago, and every year it sells more copies than the last. And just in short, I think a lot of men grew up around men who had a lot of that like lower body kind of power. I want, I take, I'm loud, I'm aggressive, I dominate, but didn't have a lot of the heart. And we've seen this in our culture, the impact of that. So in the last 50, 60 years in particular, there's been a development around that of, hey, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be safe. I want to be sensitive. I want to be attuned. What the nice guy does is he disconnects from himself. He abandons his own feelings, wants, needs, desires, and he avoids conflict in order to keep the peace or keep the connection alive with someone else. So he tries to be nice. If I'm just really nice to you and give you what you want, you're going to give me back what I want, right? The problem with that is, no, that doesn't happen because you often don't know what I want unless I tell you what I want. So nice guys have a hard time setting boundaries. They're often quite safe to be around, but they're actually quite hard to trust because they're constantly abandoning themselves. And more men, right, are having to figure out, how do I be a safe presence in the world without abandoning myself, without abandoning my wants, without abandoning my desire, without being an aggressive kind of caveman. And so nice guy work is really just the work. We don't have to stop being nice. We just have to stop abandoning ourselves in the process.
I love it. We don't normally talk about the feminine aspect of things on this show, because we focus on, the husbands, fathers, brothers, and sons, obviously. But what do you believe the feminine species craves from the masculine species?
Yeah, totally. Presence. So presence means I'm fully present with you and whatever you need to bring. Whatever you're feeling is okay, and I'm here with you. I'm literally I am present with you. This blows men's minds when I work with them on it, and they learn to get present in their body. And okay, my partner, my woman, my kid is in some kind of turmoil or stress. And our instinct is, well, I got to fix it, right? I got to bring them a solution and tell them, oh, if you just do this, you do this, this, this. No, oftentimes what they want first is just be with me. Be present with me. And it is revelatory for so many women.
That wasn't the word I was going to use, but it definitely applied. That wasn't the word I was going to use that came to mind, but it's definitely that. I'm seeing that in my own life. I'm like, man, if you're an A-type and a hard chart, like I'm sure both of us are, from what I learned through our relationship over the past year and change that we know each other, I feel as though it is revelatory. It's extraordinary. It's revealing. It's impactful. I'm learning that now. I don't have it down pat yet. I'm not at a 95% approval rate yet. I'm probably more around 89 right now, but I'm working on that. But I mean, just to shut down all the other stuff, all the other voices, the notification, the pings on the phone, just shut that down. That was coming on the 24-hour sports cycle on TV behind you, and just stop and say, you know what? I'm here with you. Listen to what you have to say. I'm not looking away because you're talking too long. I'm staying with you. The love part on the back end, it always seems to be so much greater because you've invested throughout the course of the day. Mm-hmm. And I know we're going to a place that we probably don't have time to go to. I know we don't have enough time. I can see the clock. But, there's men that want to have that back end experience, and they haven't invested anything on the front end. No time. Yeah. No, I'm present with you. I'm listening. Not trying to fix it. Just want to hear what you have to say. Let you know that you have a friend in me. You got a voice. We got an ear and a shoulder if you want to cry on it. It makes the love and the compassion or the passion on the back end so much greater because you've invested the time. So I'm learning big things from this. Thank you for sharing what you've been sharing so far, man. Fantastic stuff, man. Talk to the men, Jason, as we close out today about how to get out of the man box. Talk to them about that.
Yeah.
Then let folks know where they can find you. I have your link up on the screen for those that are watching today. Go ahead.
Yeah, so right, the man box is all those attributes I was talking about that we're taught as men of what it means to be a man. Don't be vulnerable, don't be weak, never ask for help. You can feel the list. It just grows and grows and grows. And so to get out of the man box is to say, hey, I'm a man who can have a full spectrum, and I'm allowed to have an interior experience. I'm allowed to have an inner life and feelings, right? This is like edgy for some guys. And guess where a great place to do that is? You get into a men's group where guys slow you down and help you get connected to what you're feeling. And the more you're connected to what you're feeling, the more conscious you can make real choices in your life. So, getting out of the man box is something we can lead other men through one at a time by being the men who go first and saying the vulnerable thing. Hey, man, I'm struggling. I'm hurting right now. My relationship's not going well. I'm about to get laid off, or whatever that thing might be. And you reveal vulnerably your truth. And that opens up that space where as men, we can be more, right? I get the power of it, but we can be more than provider, protectors, and procreators. We're allowed to have a creative side, to have a feeling side, to have wants and desires, and to not always be productive and play and be present, right? We just want to add to these expectations that so many of us men carry, that we're allowed to feel too.
I love it, man. Let folks know where they can find you, Jason. Good stuff, brother.
Yeah, you can check me out at evolutionary.men. On there, you can learn about all my stuff, find my socials, all that good stuff.
Thank you very much. It's on the screen, evolutionary.men/talk. You can book a exploratory call with Jason. You can talk about what's going on in your life and perhaps get connected from a men's coaching standpoint. He's definitely qualified to help you. Good stuff, brother. Thanks for being here, man, being part of the conversation. When are you getting back with us on the panel? You didn't know that from you, so be thinking about that when you get a chance to do that, man. But for you guys watching, listening to the show, wherever you are and however you're doing that, thanks for making Jason and myself part of your day and part of your week. Have a fantastic day. This is the Men's Interview Spotlight. That's Jason Lange. I'm Mr. You. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.
Men's Roundtable Series, step inside. Real men, real faith, where the truths collide. Voices at the table where the stories get shared. Welcome to the Men's Roundtable, pull up a chair.